Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Ghost, and another edition of our weekly prep where we go over our best setups coming into this week and going over various tickers like our futures, ES and NQ, our spot ETFs, QQQ and SPY, and then maybe we could probably go over SPX. Well, let's get into it. So going over our first ticker, ES futures, as you can see, I have my levels marked out. The solid levels are my daily levels, and the dash levels are my hourly levels. So going into this week, you can see that we bounced the hourly, reclaimed 1 and 2 daily levels. So I want to see us come back and retest this daily level. I'll have a better understanding that we're going to most likely target that liquidity up here. Once we reclaim above this 5307, we'll see how futures opens up. But that'll be the first area I'll look to see a trade. As you can see here, there's a lot of cluttered levels here. So we got a lot of resistance and support levels just sitting right up here. So I'm probably going to wait out before entering any trades in this area, see how we react. If we do fail to break above here, breaking back below 53.24 will trigger my downside entries. And then if we do break back above 53.35, I am looking to take this up to this next pivot area, 53.50, 53.49, and then hopefully we could see if we could target this area up here, the next daily, 53.68. But what I'll be watching to see happen price action wise will be something similar to this. If we do break above here, I'd like to see us come here, test this area, find some type of resistance, but then right after come back down. I want to see this area hold, where I'll look to take that bounce and retest here, and we can go now target the next daily level up here. So that'll be the upside setup I'll be looking for this week. We can take this one right here. If we do get this nice move here and come back again, if we hold it, be looking to see if we could take that up to the next daily. But that'll be for the upside setup. And then for the daily reject, once we do get up here, what I would like to see us do is fail this level here before I trigger a downside entry, this 53.24 level. So that's all I'm looking for once we do get above this pivot area. If we don't get above that pivot area, what I would like to see here coming down is us holding one of these two levels. If we do come all the way back here, again, I'll stay patient and I'll wait to see us break back above here. That and I'll trigger my upside entry. If we do fail this right here, definitely we'll be looking to take that downside move. You could take it here to target this area, but remember this area could bounce us. It could be a retest to come back and break above here. As you can see, we did get this one move right here, reject. So this is a retest. I could see us failing here. We'll see how New York session opens up. But again, if we're above here, that's the setups I was talking about earlier, what I'll look for. But if we don't break above, I'm going to stay patient, see when they do want to do this retest to come back and break above here. And then if we do test these areas and come back here, breaking above here will be my upside entry as well. So that's all I'm looking for ES. Let's get into the next ticker. So now going over to our next ticker we're watching, the spot ETF SPY. It's going to be in confluence with our ES levels. Some of the levels and support and resistance areas are pretty similar. So you can see we got these two daily level reclaims that we got. So coming into this week, just like how ES has that clutter area, I'm going to be watching. This should be lining up pretty similar to that daily level on ES. So as you can see here, you kind of want to just wait to see how price reacts. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. If I get that confluence of that 53.35 break, it should line up with this 529.6 where I'll look to be taking the upside move. But I can see us coming back, retesting. Once we do get this area here, I want to be staying patient. But if we come back, I want to stay out of taking a trade until I see how price reacts down to here. So again, just like how ES, I want to see us come either bounce here, here, or here, even down here. I want to wait to see how this reacts. If we do come back above this level right here, 527.32, once we hold these areas, I'm going to be looking for an upside entry on this move right here. But again, we could come all the way down here. If we break this daily level 526.09, I did have a trade set up like that last week. They kind of held the move. But I am going to take this downside move into this retest area 525.12, where I can see us probably getting a bounce here. And I'll get trimmed out most of my contracts there. But again, I like to see the levels get retested, reclaimed before I make my move or my entries. And then again, if we do break above 529.6 with the confluence of ES breaking above its daily, I am going to be looking for that upside move. Again, if we do reject, just like how ES, if we do reject this area, let me get rid of this. If we get this kind of price action where we go in this area and we do test this 529.6, my trigger for upside and ES confluence, but we fail to hold it with the 552.94 level on ES. Sorry, 53.24 level on ES confluence and breaking below 529. I am going to be looking to trigger my downside entry. So that's all I'm going to be watching with SPY and ES. Those are going to be my main confluence levels for trades. I usually trade SPX with these levels, so those are the setups I'll be watching very closely into this week. So let's get into the next tickers. So the next ticker we're going to be going over is NQ futures. So again, with NQ and QQQ, I use it as confluence because I primarily trade SPX. So I use ES and SPY entries, but I use NQ and QQQ for confluence. So as you can see here, NQ got to a daily level, this 18,628.5 right at the end of Friday. We got that last minute reaction. But what I'm going to be watching this week with confluence of our entries on ES and SPY is for the upside. I'd like to see us breaking back above this 18,688 daily level. I can see us having some room up. That will give our trade on ES and SPY room to breathe before we get resistances from NQ and having that divergence where NQ will be hitting a resistance. I'd rather stay where the trades will line up and have confluence, and NQ has room up, same time that ES and SPY has room up. And then for the downside move, breaking below this 18,500 and this 18,480, that'll probably trigger that downside entry that I was speaking about on ES and on SPY. So I like to see us holding below there. If ES and SPY are giving me that downside entry and we see NQ breaking back above 18,688, I'll probably just hold off on those downside trades. Wait to see NQ get into maybe this area up here, this daily level, and then see if I can join the downside move with ES and SPY still showing that downside weakness. But again, that's how I use NQ and QQQ. I like to make sure they're above supports, not near resistances when I'm trading the upside setups on ES and SPY, and then vice versa when I'm trading the downside setups. I don't want to see NQ and QQQ with relative strength breaking above resistances. I'd rather see them losing supports. So these are the levels I'm watching. Again, I'd like to see 18,688 break above for those ES and SPY upside moves, and then below this 18,500 area for that downside confluence. And that's all I'm going to be watching on NQ. Let's get into the next ticker. So the next ticker we're going over is QQQ, spot ETF. So as you can see, same thing with NQ and very similar to SPY and ES where we have this pivot area. As you can see, we were rejected right at the end of Friday. I want to see us holding above that level for that confluence for the upside trades and potentially being above this 454.69. If we're almost there and ES and SPY is already giving me that trigger, I'll look to be trimming my SPX position based off of QQQ coming back to retest this daily level, just because I don't want to have that reaction where I do see QQQ potentially getting some kind of decent rejection here and coming back to retest. So if I am in that upside entry with SPY and ES and I see QQQ still has room, that'll be my trim area using QQQ, and then I'll go back to seeing where the next resistance areas is on SPY and ES for the next trim. But then for the downside setup, I do want to see QQQ lose this 449.34. That'll give me that added confluence. Potentially we can see a lot of move back down. We can see it come back to retest this 446.77, which will give us room on our downside setup for ES and SPY. Again, we're in this pivot area here. Want to see us holding above there for that confluence on the upside, and then below this daily level for the confluence for the downside. And that's all the levels I'm going to be watching this week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys make a lot of money coming into this week. And of course, remember, wait for your setups. Don't feel the need to trade when you don't have a setup there. I appreciate you guys. Peace.